Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider like, subscribe, maybe the notification bell too. And if you're on mobile, why not a cheeky little hype as well? Always super appreciated. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. This story is from a throwaway account from the Relationship Advice subreddit, and it says, my female 26, ex-boyfriend male 27, said he was going to propose for the last 4 years. When I finally found the courage to break it off, he did. I don't know if I should give it another chance. We started dating in 9th grade, after he asked me out at Winter Formal, 2012. Went as friends but quickly hit it off and we were together by New Year's. From there we got a lot of milestones fast, and honestly, we both figured we'd be married by 2017 to 2018. The excuse at the time was, we're young and still in school. I finished college in 3 years, him in 4. Both have our dream jobs and have a combined income of $144K a year. We have loans, but none of them are atrocious, and we lived in a home he inherited. That said, our life felt perfect by the time I was 22. That's when he started randomly inquiring about my ring size, dream wedding, whether I like gold or silver jewelry more, etc. 22 went by and no engagement. No big deal. 23 comes and it's the same thing. I'm thinking it's any day now. 24 passes and the conversation becomes tiring. I started to ask what he's waiting for. He claims the right moment hasn't come yet. It took me till age 25 to realize he often used the promise to do it when I was upset at him for something. By 26, I told myself that he had until he turned 27. His birthday was closer. After that, I'm walking away. I got my own space ahead of time and followed through. The separation was peaceful. He didn't protest much, if at all. Last week, about 2 months later, he showed up at my place. We shared locations a couple of years back and just never turned them off. I completely forgot about it. I wasn't creeped out or anything once he explained how he found me. After some catching up, he pulled out the box, all while sitting in the couch across from me. It wasn't the romantic on one knee, and I can't help but feel I forced his hand. This feels like a here, damn, more than anything else. He says I'm overthinking. He didn't realize what he had until he lost it. He never knew that marriage was that important to me. I kinda want to get back with him, but I don't want him to resent me and later on say he was forced to get married or anything. So this dude for the last 4 years has been dangling this engagement in front of you every time you got upset with him. I mean, that sounds quite manipulative to me. And when you finally had enough and accepted that he's not going to propose and that's what you want in a relationship, he suddenly shows up and now he's ready. And the bullshit he said about didn't realize marriage that was important to you after you spent years talking about it is just absolute bullshit, isn't it? But a commenter says he used the promise of marriage to manipulate you during fights. That's a huge red flag. If it's not the promise of marriage, it'd be something else. You've been dating for almost half your life. You don't know what other relationships are like. Hell, you barely know what you're like by yourself. Spend some time being a single person for a while and get to know yourself. You'll be better off for it. McKittenman says, please view this proposal from an outside perspective. It's a pathetic way to propose. Been together for ages, waiting on for it to happen. Come to your senses and realize that if not by now, when? Took steps to end the relationship, moved out, broke up. Then 2 months after the breakup, he shows up unannounced, finds you through location tracking, which is wild, and throws a ring box at you as if that's going to make you forget about everything. Welcome him back into your life with open arms, a last-ditch effort to reel you back in. Didn't even want a serious conversation about it, just dangled a ring in front of you, hoping it distracts you from the issues in your relationship. And now, the memory tied to the proposal is a shut-up ring. He was waiting for the right moment. The right moment for him was when you were pushed to your limit, moved out, ended the relationship. That was the right moment. Let that sink in. This wasn't a heartfelt, deep, memorable proposal. It's a shut-up ring, a tainted, low-effort moment. I hate these types of situations. Relationships shouldn't have to end before the other realizes the value of it. If you need to be dumped in order to clue in, then I don't think any second chance should be given. You had your chance and blew it. It's up to you, but a proposal like this is a desperate last-ditch effort, shut-up ring kind of proposal, not heartfelt, done out of obligation instead of wanting it for himself. Gentle Soul says you shouldn't have to leave in order for someone to recognize your value. Also, he waited 2 months after breaking up. Probably realized that he couldn't find any better. Don't let him use you as an excuse to settle. You'll regret it in the long run. Proud of you for sticking to your guns and knowing your own worth enough to leave. You're still young and have your whole life ahead of you. And one more comment which says no, don't get back together. You have moved on and he realized he no longer has someone to manage the home / possibly his life. You've never been on your own and may not have fully formed your own, separate to being a couple, identity. If he was serious, he would have asked you. This is just a shut-up ring more than one made for love and commitment. Stay separated, go to therapy, and explore who you are. Hang with your friends, go on dates, enjoy your life. So OP does come in with an update and says, many suggested I wait, but I already knew what the correct choice was. A lot of hard truths were being pointed out to me, made it hard to ignore. That said, I had the ring. I never told him yes, rather, I don't know. But he insisted I keep it. Given I decided I needed to move on, I wanted to meet so that I could give him his ring back. He agreed to at first, but was insistent on it being either at my place or his. I was already at the park with the ring in my car and just wanted a neutral meeting place. So I said no. He argued that it must not be that important then. So I said, okay, I'll give the ring to your mum when I have the chance. He didn't agree to meet, but this did make him FaceTime me. So we spoke that way. I was okay with that. The call started with him trying to negotiate a meeting location for a moment or two. Once he gave up, I told him I had questions about our breakup period. He told me I live in the past, but quickly backtracked when I said, okay, never mind, and attempted to hang up. He told me I wouldn't like the answer to some stuff, and he's right. He admitted that he saw 4 women during the 2 months, 2 of them being a threesome. He alleged to have wanted that experience before marrying me. He also claimed that he felt inferior to me in the recent years because of how put together I am, as if he's much different. I was in shock. I'd spent these last 2 months alone and trying to heal while he's having threesomes? It hurt, but it felt more like a disgust hurt than a betrayal one. Not because of the threesome, but because he thought he could just come back when he was done having fun. He asked me to come back to his place. He said the kids, 2 goldfish, miss me. I told him I can't get back with him. I need to experience something new just like he did. He's all I've ever known, but saying this upset him and might have given me some real insight into how he felt. He called me selfish. I'm always thinking about myself. He brought up a time when I went to the gym on his birthday, early in the morning before proceeding to spend all day with him. He said I constantly make unilateral decisions, like this one. He accused me of being with another guy and said that's why I don't want him to come over. I should have hung up earlier. My choice was already made. Once he'd known I was set in, not rekindling, he was only looking to hurt my feelings. My father offered to return the ring so that I didn't have to, and I've been advised to call the police if he shows up at my place again. Despite this, I feel good. I got some answers and saw what happened when he didn't get his way. Again, I appreciate the advice. Absolute bullet dodged in this situation. What a little weasel he is. But when he accused OP of being with another guy and said that's why OP doesn't want him to come over, petting me in my head, and I wouldn't want OP to do this because OP needs to look after themselves, their safety, etc. But, you know, the little part of me wanted OP to just turn around and say, yeah, a couple of guys are coming over actually. After he went on about all this threesome stuff that he was up to in these 2 months apart, he was simply going out of his way to try and hurt OP. That's all he wanted to do. Absolute scumbag. And I'm super glad that OP did listen to the advice of the Redditors in this situation. But what do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit from Judo Plant, who says my wife, 25 female, threw away my entire Pokemon card collection because she said I was too old for it. Poor dearie me. I'm a 30 male and I've been collecting Pokemon cards since I was a kid. Some of them were from the 90s and even worth a bit of money. Not that it matters, since I would never sell these, but mostly these are a sentimental item because they remind me of childhood. I kept them neatly in binders on a shelf in my office. A few days ago, I noticed they were gone, and when I asked my wife of 2 years where they were, she casually told me she threw them out because you're a grown man, you don't need to play with kids' stuff. I honestly felt sick. She didn't even ask, just binned something that's been a part of my life for decades. When I got angry, she doubled down and said I should thank her for helping me move on. Seems to me like I might need to file for divorce, so I just want to shout this into the void while I decide what to do. No advice needed, just here to vent. This absolutely does feel like a divorce moment. Opie said they don't need advice on this, and of course they don't because it sounds like they're already going down that path, but yeah, I wouldn't blame them one bit for that. It feels like a total mask-off moment where she felt comfortable enough to make that decision about what he's allowed to care about. And the fact that she thinks that you should be thanking her for helping him move on in the end. Gee bloody whiz, yeah, I'll be done with that as well. Will says, not even exaggerating, this is divorce-worthy. And she'll probably paint it as you divorcing her over silly Pokemon cards. But it's you divorcing her because she doesn't respect you or the things you love. You can have a wife who doesn't tear you down for the things you love, but loves you because of it. Opie says, in my view, when she decided to do this, she threw away our marriage along with the cards. Suitable Camel says, my mother did this all my life to my father. She throws away anything she doesn't like of his. Shoes, clothes, memorabilia, art, etc. It carries over to other parts of their marriage. She steamrolls him on everything. He wishes he would have gotten a divorce many years ago, and us, the kids, suffered for it. I know some things says, what the fuck? I'd be pressing charges. Pokemon cards are collectibles. I'd be horrified my partner did that and would be filing for a divorce as well. Can you get them from your bins, or have they been taken away? Contact your council with the date the bins were taken. Maybe you can go to the tip and find them. Opie says sadly it looks like they might be gone. It seems she did this last week, so I've given up hope on the cards. However, I consider this a small price to pay to show me who the real woman I married is. She might have thrown away my happy memories, but in return, she has saved me many more years wasted with her. Shepax replies saying, I'm loving this attitude. So many people come on here and try to justify shitty behavior. I'm glad you see it, and her, for what it is, aren't willing to live with the disrespect. Good for you, and I hope nothing but the best for you. Also, I'm sorry about the cards. I was never into Pokemon, but I have a ton of collectible Barbies. If my husband threw them out, I would do things I can't say on the internet because words like premeditated could be tossed around a courtroom. Opie says, thanks for your support. I'm trying my best to stay positive. So at some point later, Opie does update the post and says, firstly, I want to start off by saying thanks for all the messages and support on my last post. I don't want to be that guy, so let me deal with a couple of the commonly raised issues and questions. I checked with the local rubbish collection service, but unfortunately, they weren't able to help. It's not the case that my soon-to-be ex-wife sold these. She threw them out 100%. She has no need for the money. My wife does not have a gambling or drug problem that I'm aware of. We spent most of our days together, so it would be impressive if she managed to hide this. As for me, I've moved out of the family home and made my intentions clear to my soon-to-be ex-wife that I will be filing for divorce shortly. She did not take it well. She accepts wrongdoing and says it was a lapse in judgment, but sadly, this isn't something we're going to be able to reconcile. Thanks again to everyone who took the time to comment and/or reach out. It helped more than you might think. Additionally, a couple of people reached out offering money to help me replace the cards. As much as that is a kind gesture, I won't be accepting any donations. But if you're feeling generous, please consider donating to your local homeless shelter. This will be the last update from me on this. Bayo Blue says, in the early 1980s, my mum became evangelical and started thinking everything was demonic. I had 2 large cardboard boxes full of comics. I would buy them at this thrift store for like 10 cents each. I had what I know today were some valuable comics. I came back in early high school to find she had burnt them all. Unfortunately, I couldn't divorce my mum. Establishment Sad says, yeah. When I started working, I started buying video games and music CDs. One time when my uncle, who is a preacher, visited, they had him look at my CD and game collection. I literally stood there as they broke my CDs and video games, there in front of me. I told him that I had worked and had paid for them and that they were mine completely. He said he didn't want them in his house. After an argument, I asked him or my uncle would be paying for each broken CD. We were talking a couple of $100. Newer games and CDs, and he almost broke my PS3, but he knew that I had paid for that one. Either way, I think something clicked after that because he never did mess with my stuff after that. He never apologized or returned what it was worth back to me. But I think I did make him realize that this shit was expensive and it wasn't his. Andrew says she's lying about the lapse in judgment. She was just hoping you'd get over it. Fuzzy Fuzzy says exactly. Could also be her weird way of trying to assert dominance by taking away something Opie enjoys. It's mental abuse. And one more throwaway account says, my husband collects Transformers. He gets a new one every Christmas to add to his collection. My favorite is when he plays with them. I love seeing the childlike innocence in his eyes. He also has WWE wrestling memorabilia. Him and our son 18 have the same passion. I would never destroy or throw away his belongings. I collect elephants, and he would never throw or break them. He even purchased pajamas that have elephants on them. He also bought pillowcases that have elephants. And he got me a necklace with elephants and earrings that are elephants. I'm sorry this happened to you. I never understand people like this. I mean, it sounded very much like it was about control and she just wanted to, and that's what she wanted to do. But people who say like, oh, you're too old for that, you can't have that anymore. I just find it weird. Like my brother, he collects like all sorts of stuff. He's currently collecting like old style monster truck remote control ones, like Midnight Pumpkin and all that kind of thing. But he's also got collections of Star Wars stuff, like all the lightsabers, the figures, collects all sorts of various old toys like the old Ghostbusters car, etc. And you know, you think fair play to him. He's just enjoying his life and it hurts no one. But it gives him great pleasure to have these collections. I just think fair play to you, you know? But back on the Pokemon cards. I think I told you, you may have heard me say this one before, but when Pokemon cards were quite big when I was small and, you know, the first generation of Pokemon was about, and I remember buying like a starter box and I got the Charizard in there, but didn't realize its worth at the time. And I kept them all in this folder, etc. And for years I kept them, and I stopped collecting them. I got to high school and there was a kid who loved Pokemon cards and I was telling him about the collection that I got and I told him about Charizard and he said, I'll give you £10 for it. And I was like, oh, £10? I'm going to be a millionaire. I know the logic isn't logic in there, but that's the way it felt at that time. £10. I brought it in the next day and I sold it. What a bloody Burke, right? Oh, dearie me. Personally, I would love to get a collection like that going again, Pokemon or something similar. But, you know, there's just too many generations now. I can't keep up with it anymore. But what do you guys make of this situation? Imagine someone chucked away something that you love, some sort of collection that you have. How would you feel about it? Is that divorce worthy to you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Our next story comes from Daughter Party Throw and says, am I the arsehole for refusing to take my daughter to her birthday party? My 33 female daughter, Cleo, 5 years old, hates pink. She has disliked the colour and almost everything to do with it since she was about 3 or so. She has one pink shirt she likes and one pink stuffed animal, and that's it. My father's partner, Prue, refuses to accept that Cleo doesn't like pink. Over the years, she's made several attempts to push the colour onto her. Pretty much every gift she's ever gotten her was some shade of pink. No matter how many times I tell her to stop, she has tried to give me dozens of different reasons why I should encourage my daughter to try different shades. It clearly upsets Cleo, but Prue keeps doing it. About a week ago, my father invited me, my husband, and our children for dinner at his place. He said he and Prue had a surprise for the kids. Right before we left home, my younger sister, who still lives with our father, texted me. She warned me that the surprise was actually a small birthday party Prue had planned for Cleo. That alone threw me off, because my daughter's birthday was in November. My father did miss her actual birthday party due to work, but still. Also, my son turns 9 in March, so I had figured this would be the next party we'd have. Then she sent me photos of how the place was decorated, and it very clearly wasn't actually meant for Cleo. Literally every piece of decor was pink. The table, the tableware, the balloons, everything. She got them pink banners and glued pink foil French curtains on the doors. Even the cake was pink. I showed everything to my husband. and we agreed not to take the kids there. I text my father the following: "Hey, sister told me everything. We're not coming. We're taking the kids to McDonald's and telling them that was your surprise. You and Prue can come if you want. We're paying." We did exactly that. My father did show up, without Prue, but he was cold with us and left 20 minutes after arriving. Both him and Prue are pissed. My father is angry that my husband and I dismissed his partner's heartfelt gesture towards our daughter. Prue also told me that I'm the reason Cleo is restrictive. I also don't like Pink, and I'm raising her to be ungrateful. An ungrateful, spoiled brat who is unwilling to compromise. To be honest, I get how I could be in the wrong here, but at the same time, this just felt like Prue trying to push something Cleo doesn't like onto her yet again. My sister and one of my brothers are on my side, though my sister did say I had been rude. My other brother is on the fence. Am I the arsehole? Edits: my daughter doesn't know I dislike Pink, nor would I care if she did like it. And I'm just going to give you the top comment on this one because there's a couple of updates to get through as well. It said, "Not the arsehole. You handled it well and avoided the worst. You were not rude so much as clear that you would not let Prue manipulate you and your daughter. Your father is the weakest link here. He should be reeling in Prue's Pink obsession, not encouraging it. Tell your father and Prue that there are things more important than the color pink in this world, and if they cannot stop giving pink to your daughter, then they should stop giving, period." The OP came in with their first update and said, "First of all, I apologized to my sister a few hours after I made my original post. I'm very grateful for what she did, but I'll do my best to keep her away from these conflicts moving forward. Thank you to those who defended her. Secondly, I went through your comments with my husband, and our main takeaway was that we did what we had to do to protect Cleo, even if it wasn't what we'd do in most circumstances. Had either of us been surprised with a party decorated with something we openly hated, we would have sucked it up and ignored it. It sucks, but we're adults and it comes with the territory. Cleo, however, is 5 years old. She wouldn't deal with this in the same way, nor would we expect her to. Knowing my daughter, she would have been miserable at the party, so ultimately we don't regret not taking her there. On Saturday, we took the kids to spend the afternoon at my brother's place with their cousins. In the meantime, we invited my father and Prue over to talk. My husband and I told them we wanted them to abide by the following. 1. No more surprise parties without our knowledge and approval. 2. No more pushing the color pink onto Cleo, including pink gifts. And 3. No more calling our children spoiled for being allowed to dislike something. If they didn't agree to our terms, we would no longer take the kids to their place, and there would be a good chance we'd lower contact with them in the future." Prue didn't say anything at first. My father tried to argue that we should at least thank her for the party, but I said no. I told him the problem wasn't that Prue threw a party for my daughter that was dedicated to her own interests. It was that she specifically chose something she knows my daughter hates and centered everything around it. We wouldn't thank her and we wouldn't apologize. That's when Prue chimed in. She tried to tell us that we were raising our daughter to be a brat again. So I asked, "Why are you so insistent on pink?" She didn't answer at first, but then she said she knew Cleo did love pink. She just didn't know it yet. And to that I asked, would you be this pushy if it was about any other color? Prue tried to say that didn't matter, but when my husband asked her if she'd care Leo hated blue, she said she doesn't need to like blue. He replied that she didn't need to like pink either. He told Prue that she had no right to decide what Cleo should and shouldn't like. Cleo hates pink, and if she can't be an adult and respect that, then she doesn't need to be around our children. In the end, my father and Prue agreed to our terms. I'm not confident about her, but I did speak to my father. I said I know that he has a hard time saying no to Prue, but he will ruin his relationship with me and my children if he keeps enabling his partner. My father promised he wouldn't let this happen again. I hope this works out. Cleo is a great kid, and I hope my father and Prue can finally start seeing that. Thank you all for everything. And I felt it, and all the comments felt it below, and they all just saying that Prue is going to continue to push those boundaries. She's going to continue to buy pink because, you know, she wasn't backing down during that conversation. Most people will say, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I mean, most people wouldn't even get to that situation in the first place, but a normal person, when they're being called out for that kind of behavior, you would hope they'd step back, think about it, and say, I'm really sorry. That won't happen again. But she's not doing that, is she? She still thinks she's right. So OP comes in with what they titled their final update. It says, hey guys, I wasn't planning on coming back But stuff happened recently, and I remembered writing my previous posts. Things with Prue were mostly fine the months after my last post. On one hand, she didn't try to push pink onto Cleo in any way. No pink gifts, no preaching, no weirdly timed parties. On the other hand, Prue didn't change much about the rest of her behavior. She was still annoyed whenever my daughter's non-girly tastes were mentioned. She wouldn't say anything, but I could see she was making an effort not to. Cleo didn't seem to notice it or be bothered by it. I don't have much to say about my father's behavior, but I will say we didn't have any problems related to this. Anyway, Cleo's 6th birthday is coming up in early November. Her best friend's birthday is about 2 weeks before hers, and we're doing a joint party for them near the end of the month. The girls have both become obsessed with the Wicked movie this past year, so we've decided that will be the theme. We're also looking into taking them to see the musical sometime between their birthdays. The girls are very excited. Last month we had dinner with my father and Cleo started talking about the party. Prue was happy about the theme until Cleo mentioned she was going to wear an Elphaba costume. Pronunciation, I do apologize, and a friend will dress as Glinda. The kids eventually shifted the subject and Prue didn't say anything else about the party. I got a text from Prue later that night. It was long and not in English, so here are some bullet points. She's been holding a lot in these last few months. I'm influencing my daughter and raising her to be a tomboy. Isn't as cool as I think. Cleo is obviously confused and it's my fault. It's embarrassing that I won't let my daughter be special on her birthday. It's bad that my husband lets Cleo watch F1 with him. Why she felt the need to bring that up is beyond me. It's sad that I won't let my daughter be herself, which I found very funny. I'm failing my daughter, and she wasn't going to say anything but couldn't help herself. The text solidified everything I thought about Prue. She won't drop this, and she won't change, and I don't want to keep putting my daughter around someone who won't respect her for who she is. Both me and my husband blocked Prue the next day. I sent my father a screenshot of her text and told him we're lowering our contact with her, but only see her during family events. That means the only other time we'll see her this year is Christmas Eve. He can still see the kids without her, and if she tries to pull anything in front of the kids, we're cutting ties permanently. A few hours later, my father asked, "I can't get you to change your mind, can I?" I told him no, and he said he agreed. I told my siblings everything. My sister is moving in with her boyfriend in January, so I'm not too worried about her getting mixed up in this any further, but I told her to let me know if anything happened. So far, all she's had to say is that Prue has been telling her she wants to apologize to me. I don't care whether she does anymore. Also, Cleo found a type of pink she likes. It's a deep magenta. She calls it purple pink. She still hates every other shade, but it's something. And because of the theme, there's going to be a lot of pink at her birthday party, even if it's not her half. Both my children are doing great and I grow prouder of them every day. I have zero intention of updating again. I have a lot going on in my life right now. I'm just thinking about the fact that all this happened because a grown woman couldn't accept that my child hates a color exhausts me. I'm more than happy to stop talking about this. Once again, thank you for everything. Absolutely the right decision in this situation. I keep wondering what else she's going to do next, though. People like this never seem to stop in these stories, although OP said that's their final update. Part of me in my head was like, bloody hell, please don't let her find out that Cleo likes some kind of pink. She will lose her shit. But absolutely good on OP for putting those boundaries in place. No one's got time for that shit. But what do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? No contact straight away? Is there another way around it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.